I'm out of time, but if there's anything that you'd like to add, I'd love to hear from you.
Just wanted to add that because these models are dynamic, they change often. The question is, which version of a model even would you scrutinize or monitor?
Yeah, thank you. Senator Lummis.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Mr. Schmidt, welcome. You have an interesting job and an important one in terms of helping us understand the 4 criteria you mentioned in your testimony. With regard to transparency, what level of explanation do you think companies and organizations should provide to consumers?
So I think that there are 2 principles that need to apply. One of them is transparency into the process that they have undergone, and that will allow people to understand whether or not the data that was used was fair, as well as the process, and whether or not the data was right. So were they using some factor, education in a situation where education really didn't belong? Or maybe they got the education of the person wrong. Being able to understand and appeal those decisions is very important. The other area where this is really important is having some sort of understanding of how to improve one's outcome. So you got rejected and you got told that it's, had, I don't know, number of delinquencies in the past 60 days. Maybe that one's easy to figure out how to rectify, but in these complex systems, it could be much more difficult than that. And giving people a clear framework to move from being rejected to being accepted, I think could be a very helpful public policy goal.
Another question, this one about data privacy. How do you think companies that use AI models for housing should be thinking about data privacy?
I would like to preface this by saying that I'm not a data privacy expert, but what I have seen in my experience, particularly with large lenders and other organizations that are really leading the financial system, is that data privacy is very high priority. And making sure that there are not data leakages people spend inordinate amounts of time on. So I think that that is something that is very well recognized and something that the industry is really striving towards.
So what is the weakest link here? When you named those 4 criteria, which one is crying in need of improvement?
The one that keeps me up at night is fairness. And this is both from, again, anti-discrimination in the traditional sense of the word, as well as fairness for everybody in this room. The quality of models being built across all industries is low. That is absolutely not universal. There are brilliant people doing very brilliant work, but there is a lot of stuff going on there that is extremely low quality. And what we need is to have the same kind of or similar model governance standards that were put forward by the Fed and the OCC, put into lower tier lending institutions and places like the healthcare industry. Because you are absolutely right that the financial industry is light years ahead of every other industry. And the potential for damage if strong model governance is not put into place, astronomical.
Can you help with that? Have you studied this enough that you're beginning to see how to break through those areas where the data is being used in a very unsophisticated way?
These are mostly people problems. The problem with data scientists and data science is that colloquially I'd say they're drunk on algorithms. They get very excited by the math. and they get very excited by the next new thing. And they don't take a step away and say, what is it I'm doing? And so I think that the first step is making people answer questions, making the model builders answer questions. What is it I'm putting in here? Why am I putting it in this model? What purpose does it serve? And the way that that can happen effectively is by requiring effective model governance. And if I may, the other thing that is really important is having lawyers in the middle of the room and in the questions. I always tell my clients that lawyers are the best data scientists because they're the most skeptical and negative people in a room. And so, and that's really what is needed in data science. So we need lawyers and compliance and people like all the ones who are laughing in this room, because you are the people who are going to question the data scientists and get them to start doing better work.
Well, thank you. As a lawyer, I resemble that remark. So thank you very much. I yield back. Thank you,
Senator
Madam
Lummis.
Chairman.
Senator Menendez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And as a lawyer, I'm going